Zell Boy Army, how are you doing today? Ultimate team of the season is almost here, and I have got the best tactics available to get you the best results. There are few updates on the tactics I put a few weeks ago. I always say to you guys, if I have an update that I think has made the tactics better, improved, I will share them with you. I'm not just going to put them out for no reason. I've been practicing a lot in Rivals this week. I've tested out a lot of different formations in the last few weeks. And for me, the 4-2-3-1 is still the best to get your results. I now have 4 versions of the tactic that I recommend you guys use in game. I've got lots of different advice for them. I've got one for seeing out a game, one to start a game in, one to like a slight change to be a bit more aggressive if you see the opportunity, and one to use to come back into games. I'm going to go for each tactic, talk you through it, why I recommend the tactic, what part of the game I recommend the tactic in, and then I'm going to show you gameplay of the actual main part of the tactic 4-2-3-1 in action from my weekend league. The general type of players you want in the 4-2-3-1 before we get into it. I mean, defenders tend to be the same: quick, strong, aggressive, decent on the ball. The CDMs, this is one of the key parts of the tactic that I use that a lot of pros don't, that I feel makes a huge difference. It will make you slightly more defensively vulnerable, but the improvement it makes to your attack is huge. So many people on this game struggle to break down defense because defense is too strong on this game and it's very hard to get through the AI. I put the CDMs on balanced attack, and when I do this, yes, it leaves you slightly more vulnerable to a counter attack, but that's the case generally anyway. It gives you so much more options in the attack. So for me, it's vital in this tactic to have 2 CDMs who can turn, dribble and shoot. So Awa and Renato Sanchez are amazing for this and very good value. And then in the attack, the common striker for me is essential that they have 5-star weak foot. There's a few exceptions: Suarez, Lewandowski, Ronaldo. Their TOTS cards can get away with it because they're so insane and they have outside the foot shot trait. But 5-star weak foot is still huge, still key and massive in the tactic. And then out wide, I want pace, strength, aggression, ability on the ball. 4-star skill moves is nice across the attack. And as you can see in this team, having 5-star weak foot is still really nice out wide. So I've got a front 4 of Lucas, Son, Ben Yedder, Tal. This tactic is an update of one that's helped me hit numerous 30-0s this year. I've hit about 10 30-0s this FIFA. The tactic's a good update that I think will make a huge difference to your game and help prepare you to be the best you can be for Ultimate TOTS. Let's get into the tactics. Okay, here we are with the main part of the tactic. I switched to defensive to start the game off. The defensive style that I tend to like to play for the majority of the game is balanced. It is a decent combination of being able to defend. You drop deep and get in shape when the opponent keeps the ball, but you can also press with it. One of the main updates of the tactic is I've upped the width and depth. I mean, I think last time I put the width to 4, but I was experimenting with 3 and 4 still. It's now 4 width, 4 depth. I find that if I put 3 depth on, which can still work, and if you're struggling with counter attacks, I would maybe suggest putting the depth to 3. I found when the depth was a bit low, it was sometimes inviting a bit too much pressure on, so I've upped the depth till 4. This is basically how high your defensive line should generally be. The offensive style, we've got 5 width and 6 players in box. I think that's the same as the last time I shared the tactic. Balanced offensive style is in nearly all situations the best option on this game for me. Fast build-up is literally just too fast. Your team just run ahead of you. Possession, they just don't make any good runs. I've not really used long ball a lot, but I've seen quite a few pros lately have been using it. Something I need to experiment with, but I've not used it enough lately to fully recommend it. And I'm never going to recommend you guys something that I've not tried and tested myself. The reasons that the 4-2-3-1 is so good, by the way, are that you have the flat back 4, which is really nice, but then you have those 2 CDMs who act like as a shield, like a wall in front of the back 4. As long as you control them and keep them in shape, you have a really solid foundation that is hard to break through. And then with the way I do the instructions, I put comeback on defense on the 3 cams. They drop deep, and other than the striker, you have lots of options back, and it just makes you so hard to break down. But then when you counter attack, you've still got options down the wing with the Lamb and the Ram. Then you've got a front 4 that can interchange with each other, can link up well. Plus, two CDMs, if they on balanced attack, they get forward, they get involved, and you can overwhelm your opponent with lots of options. It is not quite as good as attacking as a 4-4-2 or a 3-5-2 because it doesn't have the two strikers, or even a 4-2-2, but it's defensively the best, most well-rounded formation that can still attack in the game, in my opinion. It's easy to keep the ball because you've got lots of space there, and I think this is the reason that for me it is the best formation in the game still. The instructions, stay forward on the striker. One of the changes I've made is rather than stay central on the striker, I've put him on balanced width. Jambu told me about this one, and I noticed it when I've been experimenting with it. When you put balanced width, the striker sometimes separates from the centre back and makes these like arcing runs in behind where he peels between a centre back and a full back, and it just seems to make more options for you. And with the cam, because of that, I've put the cam on balanced crossing runs rather than staying edge of box, so he still will sometimes get into the box maybe when the striker leaves the if the striker runs out wide a bit more, the cam can get into the box. If the striker's in the middle, the cam's more like to stay on the box. So that's a change I've made. And then I think everything else is pretty much the same. Come back on defense, get into the box, balanced defense, cover centre, balanced attack on the CDMs. I like cover centre because I want them staying in the middle. The outside cams can cover the wings. And balanced attack, like I said, it just changes the attack and how you can play, and then stay back while attacking on all of the defenders. Okay, this is one of the biggest changes that I've done to the tactic. I've added an attacking part to it, and it's basically a more aggressive version of the 4-2-3-1. So when I'd recommend to go to this would be if you're winning the game or drawing or losing by one, so only one goal in it or drawing, and you just want to be a bit more aggressive, you feel there's a chance to kill the opponent off, or you don't want to go all out team pressure but you want to up the press to get back into the game. And what I would say is up the depth a bit, up to 5, because that just helps the press, and then press after possession loss effectively. For 7 seconds after you lose the ball, your team will team press. It's not all out press constantly, like constant pressure or team press, but it just makes your team a lot more aggressive, gives your team a bit more impetus in the attack, defence, and it's just going to give you more chance of getting back into a game without having to go all out. Or if you sense that your opponent's struggling, it gives you a chance to really kill them off and really just see the game out. I've been using it a bit lately and it works really well. It's pretty similar in the other areas. I've lowered the width by 1 just to be a bit more direct through the middle, and then up the players in box. And then with the instructions, I've put getting behind on Ben Yedder. I normally don't like getting behind, but because I'm pressing more aggressively and winning the ball, hopefully help the pitch, I want him to get in behind and quickly get easy goals. Get into the box on the cam so I can win the ball and get straight in. CDMs are the same, but then I put the fullbacks on balanced attack just to give me a bit more options in the attack. This is a bit more of a risky tactic, a bit more of an aggressive one, but if you feel like you don't want to go all out attack, or you feel like you can finish the game off against your opponents, this is a great tactic that I'd recommend adjusting to in the middle of the game. Okay, here is my ultra attacking tactic. This one is pretty crazy. It is high risk, but it is high reward. I have won games genuinely when I've been 3 or 4 goals down using this tactic. I had someone in my stream the other day say they came back from 5 goals down to win with this tactic. It is intense, it's crazy, it is very risky, but the way I see it is I use this tactic if I'm losing by 2 goals. If it's really early and I'm losing by 2, I might not do it, but if I'm losing by 2 against someone that seems good, I'm losing with maybe 40, 35 minutes to go, I will switch the tactic and go all out to try dominate the opponent. It's a 4-4-2. 4-4-2's just got really good space. It covers every area of the pitch. It gives you the 2 strikers, and with the instructions it makes it incredibly attacking but still okay defensively. It's constant pressure. I also put team press on just in case, because why not? The width's pretty high so I can stop people just keeping the ball out wide. I put 10 depth, just push up really high. Lots of players in box. I still have balanced attack. I used to try fast build-up, but it just left me isolated with no options. I still don't put the corners or free kicks that high because I don't think it makes a big difference, but just leaves you more vulnerable to counters. The instructions: stay central, get in behind, stay forward on the strikers. I want the strikers on stay central here because I've already got wingers, so I don't need them running out wide. The centre mids are on cover centre, get forward. Stay forward, get in behind on the left mid and right mid, and then join the attack on the full backs. And the centre backs are still set to stay back because you still need some options, even if sometimes just to go back to. But this is a crazy tactic that can make a big difference, but I'm not going to use it a lot of the time. It's just reserved for desperate situations. Don't come to me complain saying like, oh, this doesn't work every time, because it's not supposed to. If you're losing by a few goals, then it's last ditch. But it can be amazing, and it can give you wins in games that you probably never would have had a chance in normally. There's no point in just sticking to something that's not working. Switching to this can give you a chance. I'd rather have a 5% chance with this tactic of coming back into a game I might normally not, than 0% chance in a game that I would just lose if I stayed the same. Okay, this is a very negative tactic that I recommend only lay on to see out games when people are team pressing you and you are struggling to survive. My ultra defensive tactic is in the 4-2-3-1 second variation. The main difference with that and the 4-2-3-1 is you have a left mid and a right mid instead of a lamb and a ram. They're just slightly more wide, slightly deeper, so they're better at defending, but they also give you width to keep the ball. I go drop back 2 with 2 depth in this one because I want everyone sat deep behind the ball, making it harder for people to break through me. This formation and tactics is about being very negative and just trying to park the bus and see out a game. It's not something I recommend much of the game, but if a lot of people, when I analyse the games, do coaching with people, I find that they end up conceding lots of late goals against team press because they don't know how to defend with it or defend against it, and this tactic makes a big difference. The 7 width is to make sure your players go wide, and it makes it a lot easier to keep the ball. When you're playing against team press and you're trying to survive late on, the key is keeping the ball and stretching teams. This formation's great for that because it's got players all over the pitch. The instructions are stay central, get in behind, stay forward on the striker. I want him up front as an outlet, and I want him on getting behind, so when people are pressing me, he can get in behind and give me that through ball to catch people out. Come back on defence on the cam. Come back on defence, stay wide on the left mid and right mid. I want them to do that so they can defend deep, help me out wide, but then also at the same time they stay wide to receive the ball. Balanced defence, cover centre, stay back while attacking on the CDMs. I don't need them to attack in this, and then everyone stay back whilst in the defence. This tactic I would recommend as soon as someone starts team pressing you, or maybe 60-65 minutes in if you're winning by a goal and you can sense you're struggling a little bit. Okay, we're going to show you now some clips of how you can attack in the 4-2-3-1. The 4-2-3-1, as I said earlier, isn't the most out-and-out attacking formation, but there are some really nice attacking patterns that you can have in this formation, and some really great things you can do by having the CDMs on balance. And I'm going to show you some goals I scored in a Division 1 Rivals game yesterday, so you can see some of the stuff I do. So we're starting in our own half. You generally have to be a little bit more patient in this formation. You can see here, we've got Lucas making that run up there. That run there makes a big difference, stretches the opposition out. Renato Sanchez has joined the attack, so normally a CDM might be sat around here, but having Renato Sanchez on balance attack means he gets forward. So we have lots of options to overwhelm the opponent. Normally most people only have a few options, and it leaves them limited and makes it a lot easier for the opponent to defend them. Drag backs, a few skill moves, go backwards. One of the main things people don't do in attack a lot of the time is go backwards. Find Awar in space, Sanchez there, makes a bit more, and then there, that run Ben Yedder made, instead of staying in this little pocket here, he makes a run slightly out wide between the full-back and centre-back, opens up a bit of space for Atal. The opponent could have closed it down and blocked the shot, but then Atal hits an absolute rocket into the top corner. But But you saw there, everyone in the attack got involved. The Lam and Ram stretched the fullbacks out, the CDMs got involved, and then Ben Yedder's run opened up space for the Cam to get into the box and create a beautiful goal to give me the lead. Okay, here is somewhat a counter-attack from after I've just won the ball back, playing it around our defence. Awar's already sat a little bit more forward. Okay, that was a bit of a mistake by me I got away with. Awar's still attacking. Here, like I say, the CDM's getting forward just gives you so many more options, because it means he has to pull a centre-back out to deal with Awar, which gives more space there. And then Son gets loads of space because he's not been able to think about defending Son because Awar's running through there. Son gets loads of space, turns inside, easy finesse. Very quick goal, and roughly 10 seconds we scored there, simply because Awar got forward and created more space for us. Okay, here is another gameplay clip we've got. Quick counter-attack. I ended up doing a pretty stupid pass here, I think. Where is it? Yeah, there. Well, not pass, just get tackled. But with the options forward that the 4-2-3-1 has, you can see here, get forward quicker. A towel just goes straight in. And from here, we have this guy here we could have gone back to. Son's making the run because he's on getting to box. Ben Yedder there. 3 options and a very easy goal because we've got all the 4 men. You can see almost like in a cross shape at the end. Sat in the box, causing havoc for the opponent. And even Sanchez had managed to get forward pretty good. Nice finish by Benny Boy though. Here's another example of a pretty nice goal we scored. You can see here, Renato Sanchez moving forward gives us that extra option. Awar's deep. A lot of the time in this formation, one CDM gets forward, one doesn't, which helps a lot. Awar there off the deep one. Renato Sanchez has gone forward. Yeah, nice pass there. You can see here we have these 4 men in great space. That just creates a much better chance. We've got man there, pulls these guys out. It just creates space in the middle to get a nice easy goal. And that, in my opinion, was a beautiful passing goal that the 4-2-3-1 really allows for. Go and show you 2 clips quickly of how I defend in this formation. One of the reasons this formation is so good. You can see here just how many men it gets behind the ball. We've got all the men except for Ben Yedder back here. We've got men in the middle here. The danger area on FIFA 20 tends to be around the middle. We've got all the men covering this area of the pitch. And then we've got Son helping out the fullback here, creating more options for me to defend with, I guess. And we're just overwhelming with numbers, and the men get back very quickly. And that was just after I'd lost the ball, that clip, by the way. The formation just is so good at keeping shape. The 2 CDMs here, just amazing. They occupy this area here. The Cam gets back. That's the wrong one. The Cam gets back. The Lam. What's the Ram? The Lam. Cover the wings. It's such a good defensive out-and-out formation that if you can get these guys to control the midfield around here, you are going to be really, really hard to break down. Got another clip showing how we defend in the formation here. You can see there I'm pulling the CDM that way to cover this area where there's danger a bit more. I use the fullback there, I'm switching there to cover a bit more space. I pull the centre back out because I've still got the CDMs helping me. There's only one attacker there that I have to worry about. And then there the CDM gets involved. He probably should have made the tackle, don't know why he didn't. We've still got people to defend out wide here, but we've flooded the box with numbers. We've got the CDMs getting back in shape. Cover all the options, and then there we win the ball back. We've got 6 players in the box. We've got these 3 cams that help defend these guys here, his CDMs, and help to counter-attack. It is just such a good, well-rounded, balanced formation that is going to do bits for people. It'll help you so much in defending. You can attack with nice patterns. It's going to make a big difference and improve you a lot if you can get the fundamentals of this tactic down. I hope you enjoyed the video, boys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all. Appreciate the support. Good luck this weekend.